Dr. Emma Taylor had always been fascinated by the human mind's ability to withstand isolation. As a leading psychologist in the field, she had spent years studying the effects of solitary confinement on the human psyche. Emma's latest experiment, dubbed the Isolation Project, aimed to push the boundaries of human endurance. She had recruited 5 volunteers, each with their own unique psychological profile, to participate in a 30-day isolation experiment. The volunteers were placed in a state-of-the-art, soundproof facility deep in the woods, with no contact with the outside world. Emma and her team monitored the volunteers' progress through CCTV cameras and audio recordings. At first, the volunteers seemed to adjust well to their isolation. They kept themselves occupied with books, puzzles, and exercise. But as the days went by, strange things began to happen. Volunteer Sarah started reporting strange noises in her room, like whispers and creaks. Volunteer Jake became increasingly paranoid, convinced that someone was watching him. Emma was fascinated by the results. She had expected some level of psychological distress, but the speed and severity of the volunteers' decline was alarming. On the 20th day, disaster struck. Volunteer Emily was found catatonic in her room, staring at a wall with a look of pure terror on her face. Emma immediately halted the experiment and rushed to Emily's side. But as she approached her, she realized that Emily was not alone. A figure, tall and imposing, stood just behind Emily, its presence seeming to fill the entire room. Emma tried to scream, but her voice was frozen in her throat. The figure turned to face her, its eyes black as coal. Emma felt a chill run down her spine as the figure spoke in a voice that was both familiar and yet completely alien. "We've been waiting," it said. And with that, the lights went out and Emma was plunged into darkness. The next morning, the police found Emma and the volunteers catatonic, their minds shattered by some unseen force. The facility was abandoned, left to rot in the woods. But some say that on quiet nights you can still hear the whispers of the volunteers, trapped forever in their isolation. And if you listen closely, you'll hear Emma's voice whispering a single phrase over and over. "We've been waiting."